witchy. There's so much to fear between the motivations, prepping for conventions, all the good experiences of being a cosplayer. There are also the things that we fear, and we also take steps to prevent. Like me, to avoid sticky mushies, I find the refrigerator. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's watch this new episode of Cosplay Tea Time on the topic of anxiety.
Here we go. Hello everyone, and welcome to Cosplay Tea Time, a fun community of cosplayers bringing you some fun, refreshing podcasts to enjoy on a nice afternoon. So make sure you got your teacups ready, get your beverages, your squishies ready. So, because we have a little bit of a serious topic to talk about. We're going to be talking about mental health, but we've titled it Things That Give Cosplayers Anxiety. So a little fun pun there that I think Yang Xiaolong would be proud of. So we're going to get into that here in a moment. But first, I want to introduce our tea sippers here with me today, starting with...
Hi everybody, it's Naomi. My pronouns are she, her, they, them. And you know me as Lab Last Cosplay on TikTok. Back to you.
Yay! Alrighty. Excuse me. My name is Jen. I'm the founder of Cosplay Tea Time, as well as today's host. I go by she, her. You can find me Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Jen.Cosplays45. I know I have a link tree somewhere out there, but I think it's under my other username, which is JenMouse45. So if you find it, check it out. And I am closet cosplaying as Penny Polendina today, because she is best girl, and she's just a happy little ray of sunshine. So I love her so much. We're going to go ahead and just do one icebreaker question, because I want to make sure that there's enough time to talk during today's theme, which is a little different question, which is, what is your favorite anime song and or your favorite song? So it doesn't have to be anime related, it could be something else, not anime related.
Honestly, I had to pick one. It would be My Hero Academia Season 2 opener Peace Sign.
That's a good one. Goodbye.
Back to you.
Back to me. Alright. Let's see. Favorite song, I feel like it changes every single time. But currently I think I'll stick with like an anime song, and I would say Inside by Casey Lee Williams. It's Ruby Volume 9's opening song, and it's a banger. It's a rockin' song. I absolutely love it. Like every single time it's like the inside part comes on, I was like, yes, let's do this. New episodes. Yay. I know it's about to end, but that's okay. We'll be back. So here's hoping. Alrighty, so that concludes our little icebreakers. Do a little commercial break explaining what is Cosplay Tea Time. So if this is your first time joining, welcome, salutations. I just want to say we create podcasts. We're taking a moment out of our day, whether it's creating cosplays, planning cosplays, adding more cosplays to the pile. We're going to talk about that here in a second, because that is anxiety inducing. For sure. So we take a moment out of our day, we gather, we bring our tea, snacks, friends. I have my cat sleeping in the corner, of course. So we just kind of talk about different topics, such as it could be fandoms, animes, colors, holidays, the art of cosplaying, sewing, prop making. I think we want to do a 3D printing one in the future, so anybody out there interested, do let us know. Which means you would have to message us on our Instagram. It's cosplay_tea_time. Look for the little mouse. He sits in a teacup surrounded by books and flowers, and he wears a top hat. Top hat, yes. So look for that. And we just say message us on Instagram, because it's a bit easier to keep track of those messages, and we're able to respond a little bit quicker. So we do have a link tree down below. We have our new project. We have a merch store now. There's been a lot of exciting stuff, so make sure that you follow, support us, follow our lovely guest and tea sippers. So I just want to say thank you for supporting us. So, woohoo! Commercial break done. So now we're going to be talking about things that give cosplayers anxiety. And at the beginning of the video, there was a viewer discretion is advised cards, but I also want to verbally state we will be talking about some heavy themes and topics throughout the discussion. We've all been made aware that we should word things carefully if we need a second to kind of process and figure out how to say things. That's totally fine. Totally cool with it. But if you're watching and you feel a little bit distressed, feel a little bit overwhelmed, hit that pause button. Stretch your legs, take a walk, drink some water, drink some tea. Always support tea drinking. So, and then do come back to the video. So we want to make sure that your mental and physical safety is guaranteed, that you feel physically safe and fine. So that was a think about it for the viewer discretion. So yes, we're going to be talking things that give cosplayers anxiety. So anxiety is not fun. I experience anxiety and depression. And it makes it very, very hard when cosplaying, for sure. And I'm sure there's lots and lots of other folks out there who feel that way. So you can always share your experiences down below in the comments. Because we did do a podcast last year about mental health. But we talked about so many different random little topics here and there and whatnot. But we're going to focus more on just the anxiety stuff. So we'll definitely do one next year. I know that for a fact. So I love this topic. It's near and dear to my heart. I want to be a mental health professional out there in the field, helping people to work through their feelings and thoughts and all that. So, but we are going to not really focus on the professional. We'll have websites and phone numbers towards the end as well, if you ever need assistance and whatnot. But we're going to focus mostly on cosplaying and the anxiety portion, with our first question being, what is your biggest fear as a cosplayer?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, not having anybody recognize who you are or what fandom your character is from.
Yeah.
Ew.
Is that online or in person too?
Just anywhere, honestly. Anywhere.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the biggest rush is being recognized. When somebody came up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, you're Nora from Ruby last year at a convention and stuff," I was like, "Yeah, I am. You watch the show too." It's such a serotonin boost, and we love it here. So yeah, I could definitely see that being a big fear. It's nobody knows who I am, but I know who I am. So, let's see. Biggest fear as a cosplayer. I do have two. One of which happened, I think, 2 years ago. Gosh, the years are flying by. Yeah, 2 years ago, in early 2021, I actually did Penny Polendina TikToks one day. I posted one online, I think on a Sunday, because I post Ruby Sunday content on TikTok. And I woke up to like these really mean comments. This was before I filtered my comments to friends only, which is wonderful. TikTok, do not remove it. I had my comments set to everyone, so anybody in the world could have commented on my video, and I was getting comments like, "What are you doing? Like, that's so cringe," and like, you know, who are you supposed to be, and all this stuff. And I was like, well, geez, I don't know who any of you people are. So I felt pretty bummed out about it. But not only that, I had somebody who duetted me. I did like a Penny duet where it's like the high five, like give me a high five and stuff like this, because Penny loves high fives and hugs. So, you know, I thought it was like cute and stuff. Like she gets a little high five, and somebody else duetted me, you know, did like the whole thing, and I was like, oh, I love it, it turned out so great, like thank you for the duet. And then people were commenting on their video, like, you know, what are you doing? Like, what is this and stuff? And it was just like, no, we don't do that here in the cosplay community. That's my friend. So I just remember like that whole week was such a roller coaster of emotions for me, because up to that point, you know, from like March 2020 until February 2021, I had experienced like the wholesome side, like, you know, everything's good, everything's great, everything's lovely and all this stuff. And then it's like all of a sudden, like, you get a couple comments, and it was pretty pretty sad, pretty scary. I remember just like not wanting to post. I don't think I posted anything for like 2 days. But then I think that Wednesday I got back into Penny Polendina and I think like a few other cosplays. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I like being Penny. I like cosplaying. This is my thing. So, yeah. And then learning about the filtered comments was such a joy. So sometimes it's taken your biggest fear and like trying to figure out like how do I protect myself or try to make light of the situation. My second biggest fear is the fear of getting canceled. Cancel culture is everywhere, and I feel like in the cosplay community I think it might also be. So I'm always scared that I'll post something and I'll think like, oh, it's funny or wholesome or sweet, and people will be like, no, like that's terrible and stuff, like cancel her. And it's like, but I didn't mean to. So it's always like there in the back of my mind. And I know I always think twice before I post, like, is this gonna hurt anyone? Does this make sense? Like that kind of thing. So mostly I just lip sync to random melodic dubstep songs, so I think I'm okay. At least for now. We'll see. Okay, so that was a little lengthy discussion, but how to get off my chest. So, next up we have, how do you get motivated to craft or get into cosplay?
That's actually very difficult for me recently, considering the fact I just haven't had any time with like job and life. It's just like I've been starting to slowly fall out of it because it's just like, when am I gonna have time?
Yeah.
But honestly, the way I get motivated is like when I want to do it, I just stick to my guns and say, hey, I'm gonna do this today.
Stick to your guns. Love it.
You.
Yeah, it's like the three things you need. It's like time, money, and motivation in order to cosplay. I feel like are like the top three things. So yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Just like, trying to find like time. And whenever I do have the time, then it's like no motivation. So it really does suck. Things that kind of get like me motivated is either like listening to music. Like I think there's like a Spotify playlist like crafting or something. Trying to think what else. Sometimes it's just like making like small goals, and I'm probably gonna say this multiple times. So I'm so sorry, but it's so true. Just setting like small goals, like I'm working on a coat right now. It's like, okay, like I can work on pockets today, and then like the next day I'll be like, all right, I'll work on the collar. So it's like setting like smaller goals and whatnot, and then trying to get that accomplished and all that. And then what gets me motivated into cosplay, and I think I mentioned this before, so this is quite a common question I also ask for icebreakers, is just like listening to music, taking it one step at a time. I'll get ready, put on my makeup, I'll check in with myself, like, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I feeling? 10, I'm still great. 1, not so great. So kind of does that. And then, after makeup, it's like, okay, like I gotta get my hair up into a wig, except for today. Not today. Today was a little bit easy. And then, like putting on the cosplay, doing the TikToks. It's just like checking in with yourself as you're doing it can also like help motivate you. And towards like the end, once I take off the cosplay, I always like try to like reward myself, whether it's like playing a game or watching anime or something. So something to look forward to after I get out of cosplay. It always helps.
Mm-hmm.
Helps. Alrighty. Next up, we have, what is the most nerve-wracking experience when putting on a cosplay?
Oh, I would probably say, like, trying to find people who actually know who you are and where show you're from, or like what fandom. It's just like, since some fandoms are actually starting to become more and more obscure, it's like harder to find people who know who you are.
Makes sense.
Back to you.
Back to me. Let's see. Most nerve-wracking. I do like that phrase, nerve-wracking. I feel like for me, the most nerve-wracking parts is either if I have to balance something on my head, like I cosplay Daisy May, and I have like the basket with like the little turnips, and trying to like balance that, and you're trying to like hit the record button and make sure that you look fine, like that is stressful. That is anxiety inducing. It's like trying to balance everything. So that's why I think now I just opt to like holding the basket. You know, sometimes I'll like balance it with one hand and then I'll take it off like during a video or a photo or something. So it's that. And the other thing too is like sometimes I'll do like a cos test like out of makeup and stuff. And you know, like, you know, just to test all the pieces, make sure they all work together and everything. But then you know, either like a few days later or a week later, you know, I'll get into the full cosplay. I'll do the makeup, the hair, put on the cosplay, but then it's like something feels off. Something feels weird. You know, I don't feel like as strong and powerful in cosplays as I do sometimes. It's kind of like this just doesn't feel right. But then after a couple photos and stuff, then I'll kind of I'll start to feel like that character and be able to pose and whatnot. So I think it just takes a little bit of time. Alrighty, speaking of time, how do you take your breaks in cosplay? Like a small break for 20 minutes, an hour?
It just it depends, considering I use both short and long wigs for my cosplay. It just depends on my body temperature and how heated the costume gets. It just depends on how overheated I get in the cosplay. To you?
Yes, so stay hydrated. You know, it's always nice to take off your wig afterwards. Like, oh, this is good. So, let's see. So I definitely, I don't know. It depends on the day and what I'm doing. If I'm, you know, the other day I did Poppy from Rainbow High. I should be getting content out here soon. And I did her in the morning, and I did like I think like an hour, hour and a half of just like, you know, getting ready, getting pictures and videos and TikToks and all this stuff. And then, but I did that like an hour and a half straight, and then afterwards I had to do something else. But if it's like, I think beforehand with Cosplay Tea Time during like season 2, I would get into cosplay early in the morning, but then realize I still had like, you know, 5 or 6 hours. So I would have like a very, very long break, and I would just either like play games, work on Cosplay Tea Time, editing videos. Playing with Oliver in cosplay is so much fun. So, yeah, he doesn't mind. He just left the room. Bye, Ollie. Take care. He'll be back. He'll be back. Yeah, so, yeah, it's just, you know, sometimes I'm just like, whenever I get like hyper focused, it's just like, all right, I gotta get these done. I gotta make sure I look right. Like, you know, I don't look like I'm rushed or panicking or anything like that. And at the same time, it's like, you know, you should take at least like a few minute break, like 5 minute. What is it, like powder your nose or something? So, like, I realize that more now. But if it's just like, if I know I'm gonna be in cosplay for a little bit and then do something else, it's just like, might as well just get it done, out of the way with, so that way I don't have to come back and all that. So, let's see. Next up, we have how do you prepare for big meetups, photo shoots, or contests?
The thing is, I never done a photo shoot or contest, considering the fact that I am socially uncomfortable with big crowds. But the way I would prepare for like a convention is like, okay, you know you're gonna be in a big crowd, you know it's gonna be loud, it's going to be that you don't want to get yourself anxious over. So just remember you're here to have fun.
Yes, love that.
Over to you.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in the same boat. I've never done like a professional photo shoot. I've only done solo at home. So I'm hoping one day we can do a cosplay tea time photo shoot. So, but I don't want it to be overwhelming for anyone. Now that I realize, I'm like, uh-oh. We'll try to make it fun. We'll definitely have some breaks in there in between. So, so I have not done a meetup. Haven't really found anyone. I haven't done contests or anything like that. Maybe. But I have been to one convention. I'm planning on going to the same convention here in a few weeks. I actually went as Penny Palandina, and I think like we mentioned this during the conventions podcast, which should be out. You can check the link here. Stuff. So just like preparing like a week or two in advance. Make sure you have everything. I think Sayo mentioned the Excel sheet, which was an awesome little tidbit that I'm definitely probably going to do later on this week to prepare. So, but yeah, just like making sure that I'm prepared well enough. I know where the convention's at. I kind of know like the size of it and whatnot. So, and then like preparing for the next day of just rest and recovery. So, as well, big break there. Okay, speaking of conventions, how do you deal with con crunching and how do you manage it?
Well, for me, it's not really con crunch unless it's like the same day as I get off of work and I'm like, oh crud, I need to like just get my wig on, get my costume on. It's just like I gotta do this, and this before I get out the door. You?
So you got all your stuff ready.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to help combat it. And say like, you got all your outfits laid out, wigs, makeup, shoes, and all that good stuff. So yeah, makes sense. I've never dealt with con crunching because I'm kind of pride myself in a very over prepared person. So I definitely bring like everything, like from a sewing kit to hot glue and all this stuff. So, if I ever was to deal with con crunch, I probably would not deal with it very well because in situations like that, I just get so overwhelmed and I get anxious and I get like very short with people and stuff. So I don't like being under pressure. That's what I'm trying to say. So I would not handle con crunching very well. That's why I'm trying to make sure that everything's prepared out beforehand. So yeah, but to those that con crunch, you got it. Believe in yourself. Okay. Let's see. Next up we have, what do you do at a convention when you're anxious and don't have a hotel room or a car to retreat to?
I just try to find the quietest hallway so I can take a second and breathe. Do you?
Find a little corner and hide. Drink your water, eat a snack, all that good stuff. So, yeah, I don't think I had that experience. I don't think so. I know when we sat down for a panel, it finally felt nice to be off my feet, but trying to think for like folks out there. And definitely leave comments if you have little tips and tricks and whatnot for like what to do. Because it's nice, if you have a hotel room and it's like, you've been in the convention rooms for like an hour or two and then be like, oh, like let's head back to the hotel room, take a break, come back later. Same thing with the car. You could even drive away from the convention. You might get some funny looks if you're in cosplay, but then you could come back later on and whatnot. But if you're without a car, no hotel, you got dropped off or something, and you start to feel overwhelmed and anxious, I think either like going to like a bathroom. I know it might not be the quietest, but just like taking some deep breaths in a bathroom stall, finding a hallway, seeing if there is anything, like maybe if there's like I'm going to say like an info desk. I don't know if that's the right term. Info desk, security place, and just be like, hey, is there like a quiet place, like a library or a lounge or something, and then just focus on your needs. So it'd be really, really important. So get back out there. Oh, let's see. Have a few more questions. Surprise, surprise. We have you ever taken a hiatus long term from cosplay and why?
Oh, I think I already just mentioned this, but yes, it's just like I can't find time to do it and I have no motivation that, or it's the other way around. I have motivation, but there's no time.
Feel that.
To you.
He's back. Hello, Oliver. Yes. Let me see. Taking a hiatus. I don't know. I'm gonna say like, sure. I don't know how to answer this because at the beginning of this year in 2023, I did have to take a break from cosplaying to focus on my exam. So I wasn't able to like get on TikTok because I logged off TikTok and Instagram and all this stuff. And then like I think I worked on like a few pieces just as like a study break. Like I had some sewing to do just to like take a break from the computer screen and all that. But as far as like putting on like cosplay and like all that. So for like a month and a half I did, but it was school related. If that makes sense. It's like I don't know if I get a pass for that, but I feel like well, with Cosplay Tea Time, I feel like I'm cosplaying every single weekend. And even when I'm not cosplaying, I'm doing like closet cosplays, like at home and stuff. So like casual cosplay characters. But I don't think I've ever really taken like a long, like half a year just not cosplaying. Could happen in the future. We'll see. But I feel like right now I'm just living my moment, living my dreams, living Penny's dream. Human Penny. Okay, and we actually have one more before we close, which is, what thoughts and or ideas do you have for cosplayers who may experience anxiety?
Well, thing is, try to find what fandoms or like what characters that you feel most comfortable with, and try to put something together for that. If it's like your first time cosplaying, or it's just like you want to get into cosplay but you're not sure what to do, just think of what makes you happy and you can go from there. Back to you.
Love it. Yes. Do what makes you happy. Cosplay who you want to cosplay as. Don't let anybody else tell you can't be this character or that character. You're not cosplaying that character, right? You know, you're doing it for you at the end of the day. So, yeah, and I just wanted to bring up too, you know, take it slow, take it one step at a time, you know, getting ready, you know, take a shower, do something nice, you know, get your makeup on, your face paint, check in with yourself, do your hair, your wig, check in, put on your cosplay, check in, you know, just, and like taking those small breaks as well. So, you know, definitely social support is one of the most crucial things I feel like with cosplaying. You know, we have a pretty awesome community with Cosplay Tea Time, not gonna lie. But just like having friends to talk about cosplay or about different shows, it kind of motivates and you feel excited and ready to go and face the day as human Penny or whoever it might be. So yeah, it's fun. Cosplaying is fun. It can be anxiety inducing, but if you take the right steps, you know, you can be able to do it. So, alrighty, and with that, I have a lot of questions, but as always, I like to turn it over to guest and tea sippers, see if they have any questions for me or Cosplay Tea Time.
Nope, I'm over here.
No. Allie, do you have questions? He's like, when's dinner? When's dinner? No, he's fine. Alrighty, so just want to say thank you, Naomi, for joining me today, talking about mental health and cosplay. So again, if you're a cosplayer out there and you would like to join, we have a few more recordings, or I think we'll be done wrapping up season 3, but definitely stay tuned because we'll definitely have some stuff planned for the fall of 2023. We'll have some good stuff, but be sure to check out Cosplay Tea Time on Instagram, TikTok, subscribe to YouTube, hit that post notification bell, leave a like, comment, all that good jazz. And we hope everyone is taking care, staying safe, and keep sipping away. Bye, everyone.
Bye.